They were never really cheering for you. They were measuring you. Now your progress feels like their loss. The shift happens fast at work. Compliments get thinner. Smiles stay longer than necessary, and something cold starts moving underneath. You feel it before you prove it. The room changes. Suddenly your wins get treated like a problem. That confusion hurts more than open hate. Open hate is honest. Envy hides behind teamwork, jokes, and fake professionalism. So let's make it simple. You're going to spot the 6 moves fast, then you'll know exactly how to respond. Because once you see the pattern, their power drops. You stop over-explaining. You stop feeding people who resent your growth. The first thing envious coworkers do is downplay your wins. They call it luck. They act like timing did everything. You finish a project early, and they say nice timing. You solve a mess, and they say anyone could. That is not casual talk. That is image protection. If your success looks ordinary, their insecurity stays hidden. Here's your first weapon. Say I put real work into that. Then stop talking and hold eye contact. Do not smile to soften it. Do not rush to rescue their comfort. Let the silence expose their bitterness. Most people miss what happens next. Once envy fails to shrink your win, it starts trying to stain it. The second move is subtle sabotage. Not dramatic sabotage. Small delays, missing details, and selective silence meant to slow you. An envious coworker forgets one important email. They leave your name off updates. They tell you after the deadline passes. Then when you scramble, they wear concern. They say, I assumed you knew. That fake innocence is the whole trick. Here's the dark part. Sabotage is fear wearing office clothes. They are not stronger than you, just more threatened. Your response has to be clean. Save everything. Confirm in writing. Use, sending this so we're aligned, every time. That sentence sounds harmless. It is not harmless. It is a paper trail with teeth. When they realize you keep records, watch the mood change. The casual confusion disappears. Suddenly they remember every detail. The third thing envious coworkers do is fish for information. They ask personal questions dressed up as support. They want to know your plans, your stress, your weak spots. Information is leverage. Envy collects ammunition before it attacks. A fake ally says, are you applying elsewhere? They ask, are you overwhelmed? They are not checking on you. They are scanning for cracks. A jealous coworker listens like a spider testing the web. They need to know where you shake. Use this line instead. Say, I keep that separate. Or say, still deciding. Then give them nothing useful. You do not owe coworkers emotional transparency. Privacy is not secrecy. Privacy is control over who gets access. Healthy coworkers can handle that. Toxic ones act offended. A boundary feels like an insult only when someone wanted leverage. That distinction matters more than people admit. Not every difficult person is toxic, but toxic people punish limits every single time. And this is where it gets darker. When access closes, envy usually changes tactics. It stops sounding curious and starts sounding critical. The fourth move is public correction. They interrupt you in meetings. They challenge tiny details to make you look shaky. Notice the timing. They rarely confront you privately first. They need an audience because envy wants witnesses, not truth. You speak once, and they jump in. You explain a result, and they attack the wording. It is not about clarity. It is a dominance test. Small disrespect checks whether you fold. If you shrink once, they push harder later. So stop feeding the tests. Pause before responding. Keep your face neutral and say, finish your point. That line buys control. It slows the room down. It tells everyone you are not rattled. Then when they finish, use this. Say, here's what actually happened. Deliver only facts. No heat, no defense speech. Never argue every insult. Pick the false point and correct that. Calm precision scares insecure people more than anger. Because anger gives them a story. Precision removes the story. Now they look emotional while you look solid. The fifth thing envious coworkers do is build quiet alliances. They start side conversations. They seed doubt before you even walk in. One person goes cold after lunch. Another stops sharing updates. Suddenly the room feels coordinated, but nothing is said directly. That is not your imagination. It is social positioning. When private control fails, image control becomes the backup weapon. A smear campaign at work rarely starts with a lie. It starts with a tone, then a raised eyebrow. Say things like, I'm just worried about communication, or I hope success isn't changing them. Hear the poison. That is slow poison. It enters through concern. By the time it spreads, you sound defensive for noticing. Your weapon here is consistency, not panic. Keep your work clean. Keep your tone steady. Make their story impossible to match reality. And when someone repeats the nonsense, do not ramble. Say, that is not true. Or say, already addressed that. Short beats long. Calm beats frantic. The more you explain, the more they act like they discovered guilt. Now watch what happens next. When they fail to ruin your image, envy often tries to bait your reaction. That is the sixth move. They provoke you privately, then act shocked publicly. They want your frustration, not your perspective. Maybe it happens after hours. A message lands late, loaded with pressure. Or they corner you near the break room. They use little hooks, backhanded compliments, fake jokes, questions with venom hidden inside them waiting for your wrong response. Here's the crazy part nobody tells you. The bait is proof they lost control. Calm people do not need traps. So stop giving instant access to your nervous system. Leave the message unread for a while. Answer when you choose. Then keep it cold. Say, noted. Or say, my answer is the same. Nothing more. No explanation. A manipulator wants movement. They want heat, apology, panic, over clarifying. Stillness denies them the reward they came for. This is also where people get confused. A boundary is not control. You are managing your access, not managing their feelings. Control says you cannot speak to them. A boundary says, I will leave if this turns disrespectful. That difference matters. Some situations still need strategy, not confrontation. You do not need a grand speech at work. You need leverage and timing. That means document first, speak second. Escalate only when the pattern is visible, repeated, and easy to prove. If you confront too early, envy acts innocent. If you confront too late, damage spreads. Timing is part of power. Think about the coworker who only texts after work. They are not busy. They are testing whether you are always reachable. The right answer is simple. Respond during work hours. If pressed, say, I handle work during office time. No apology, no essay, just structure. People who respect you adjust. People who resent you expose themselves immediately. Think about the coworker who takes credit in meetings. You did the heavy lift, but they summarize your work first. Do not fight for the entire spotlight. Reclaim the fact. Say, to clarify, I handled the analysis and rollout. That sentence is clean and lethal. It corrects the record. It makes theft harder without turning you into the problem. Think about the one who interrupts every time. They are not passionate. They are trimming your authority in small public cuts. Use the room against them. Pause. Look at them. Then say, I'm not finished. Continue like nothing happened. That line matters because it teaches people how to treat you. Repeated disrespect survives only when it meets repeated accommodation. And if they keep pushing, use this. Say, we can discuss it after. Then move on and finish anyway. By now you see the pattern. Envy is not random. It follows success the way shadows follow light. The stronger you become, the smaller insecure people feel around you. Instead of rising, they start trying to reduce. That is why your improvement can trigger coldness. You did not hurt them. You removed the illusion that they were untouchable. Real colleagues learn from strong people. Envious coworkers compete sideways. They would rather drag you lower than build themselves higher. If this is sounding familiar, drop your experience below. Your story might help someone else finally name what happened. Maybe it was stolen credit. Maybe it was fake concern. Maybe it was a sudden cold shift after your promotion. Say which move you recognized first. Keep it direct. Somebody reading that comment will feel less crazy tonight. Now let's go deeper, because the most dangerous part is not obvious. It is what envy makes you do to yourself. It makes you second-guess your instincts. You start editing your confidence. You shrink your wins so insecure people relax. You volunteer less in meetings. You share less ambition. You act smaller to avoid triggering another round of office poison. That is the real damage, not their gossip, not their petty games. The real damage is self-erasure. Never give them that prize. Your success is not aggression. Their discomfort is not your responsibility to manage. If your growth makes them cold, let them freeze. You are not required to become mediocre so other people feel safe. Another truth matters here. Silence is not always manipulation. Silence can be healthy when it protects your energy. Manipulative silence punishes and controls. Healthy silence observes, resets, and refuses bait. Intent is what separates wisdom from games. So when you go quiet, know why. Go quiet to stabilize, not to punish. Go quiet to choose, not hide. And here is the second thing nobody warns you about. Envious coworkers sometimes become nice again when they feel you pulling away. They compliment your work out of nowhere. They invite you to lunch. They suddenly act warm and supportive. Do not mistake warmth for change. Sometimes fake friendliness is just a re-entry attempt. Access is the real goal. Watch behavior, not tone. One pleasant week means nothing. Patterns matter more than performances. That is why your standards must outlast their mood. Do not reopen the door just because they knocked softly. If they ask why you seem distant, stay boring. Say, I'm focused right now. Or say, just keeping things simple. Boring is powerful. Drama feeds envy. Flat responses starve it. Remember this too. People who envy you often study you more than people who love you. They notice your schedule, your habits, your rising reputation. They track attention around you because attention feels like survival to them. That is why random comments can feel creepy. They are not casual observers. They are emotionally counting what you receive. Once you understand that, the behavior stops feeling personal. It starts looking predictable, small, and deeply insecure. And predictable enemies are easier to handle. You stop reacting to every sting. You start preparing for the pattern. Your goal is not to win every exchange. Your goal is to become expensive to target. Expensive means documented. Expensive means calm. Expensive means they never get easy access to your emotions or your mistakes. So try one move this week. Delay one reactive response. Replace one explanation with, "That doesn't work for me." Then watch who gets irritated. Watch who suddenly presses harder. Pressure reveals motive faster than charm ever will. If you have dealt with this at work, say what happened below. Your comment may help someone spot envy sooner. And if you want more sharp tools like this, subscribe. Turn on the bell so you do not miss the next one. Because the game changes when you see it clearly. Envious people survive on confusion, guilt, and your need to be understood. Take that away, and their tricks look cheap. Their power was never strength. It was access you had not locked yet. So stand taller, speak shorter, and protect your lane. You are not hard to work with. You are harder to manipulate. Let them call it attitude. Let them call it distance. Respect often looks cold to people who wanted control. You do not need to crush them. You just need to stop feeding them. That alone changes the entire room. And once you do, something strange happens. The same people who dismissed you start choosing their words more carefully. Not because they grew overnight, because they finally felt a boundary with edges. Predators hate edges. Remember that the next time envy smiles at you, some smiles are welcome, some are measurements. Know the difference and move accordingly. Calm is your shield. Clarity is your weapon. Distance is your power.